In late antiquity, no one could have imagined that a vast and powerful civilization would rise from the harsh desert landscapes of the Arabian Peninsula. Yet within a few centuries, powerful caliphs and sultans ruled immense empires that stretched across continents through eras of extraordinary prosperity and devastating catastrophe. This is the story of more than 1,000 years of Islamic history, focusing on its Middle Eastern heartland. In the 6th century, the Arabian Peninsula existed on the fringes of two great superpowers, the Persian Sasanian Empire in the east and the Christian Byzantine Empire in the west. The Arabs living in the peninsula were mostly tribal people, many of them nomadic, sharing cultural and ethnic ties. Most practiced polytheism, worshipping many gods and local deities. But this world was about to change forever. Around 570 CE, a man named Muhammad was born in the city of Mecca. According to Islamic tradition, he was chosen by God to become the final prophet in a long line of messengers that included Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. His mission was to restore the message of pure monotheism among the Arabs. Over time, revelations were delivered to him, which were later compiled into the Quran, the central holy book of Islam. In the early years, Muhammad faced severe persecution in Mecca. Eventually, he and his followers migrated to the city of Medina, an event known as the Hijra. The Hijra marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, Muhammad successfully built a new religious and political community. Through alliances, reforms, and conflicts with opposing tribes, he gradually united the Arab tribes under a new Islamic identity. When Muhammad died in 632 CE, the young Muslim community faced a major crisis. Who would succeed him as leader? This question of rightful leadership would shape Islamic history for centuries. Muhammad's successors adopted the title of Caliph, meaning successor. The first four rulers, known as the Rashidun, or the rightly guided caliphs, were selected based on their closeness to the Prophet and their leadership qualities. Their rule lasted roughly 30 years and laid the foundations of the first Islamic state. During this time, institutions, taxation systems, and administrative structures began to develop. Meanwhile, Muslim armies launched rapid military campaigns that dramatically expanded the Islamic State from Persia to North Africa. The Byzantine Empire lost vast territories, and the mighty Sasanian Empire collapsed entirely. For many Muslims, the Rashidun era represents a golden age. However, it was also marked by deep internal tensions. 3 of the 4 caliphs were assassinated. One of the central conflicts revolved around Ali ibn Abi Talib, the cousin and son-in-law of Muhammad. His supporters believed that Muhammad had designated Ali as his rightful successor. These followers later became known as the Shia. Opponents, who rejected this claim and supported the broader leadership system, later became known as the Sunnis. Over time, this political disagreement evolved into the largest religious division within Islam. In 661 CE, power shifted to the Umayyad dynasty, an Arab family based in Syria. The capital of the Islamic world moved from Arabia to Damascus. Under the Umayyads, the Caliphate transformed into a hereditary dynasty where power passed from father to son. The Umayyads launched another wave of expansion, building an empire stretching from Central Asia to the Iberian Peninsula in modern Spain. However, Muslim expansion in Western Europe came to a halt after defeat by Frankish forces at the Battle of Tours. The Umayyad Caliph Abd al-Malik worked to centralize authority in Damascus, strengthened the administrative system, promoted Arab identity, and launched monumental building projects, including the famous Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. Despite these achievements, rebellions, civil wars, and deep social divisions shook the empire. The Battle of Karbala became one of the most defining moments in Islamic history, when the Umayyads killed Hussein, the son of Ali, a tragedy that left a lasting impact on the Shia community. Eventually, growing opposition movements united against Umayyad rule. In 750 CE, the Abbasid revolution overthrew the dynasty. The Abbasids, a Sunni Arab family claiming descent from Abbas, the uncle of Muhammad, established a new era of rule that would last more than 5 centuries. They moved the capital to a newly built city, Baghdad. Baghdad quickly grew into one of the largest and most prosperous cities in the world. It became a center of learning, culture, and scientific discovery. Scholars translated works from Greek, Persian, and other languages into Arabic, laying the foundation for new advances in medicine, astronomy, philosophy, and mathematics. This era is widely known as the Golden Age of Islamic civilization. One of the most famous Abbasid rulers was Caliph Harun al-Rashid, celebrated in the stories of the Arabian Nights. He supported scholars, maintained diplomatic relations with European rulers like Charlemagne, and even sent an elephant as a royal gift to Europe. Yet over time, the Abbasids gradually lost direct control over distant provinces. Regional dynasties rose across the empire, weakening the caliph's political authority. The Islamic world was no longer purely Arab. Persian and Turkic cultures became increasingly influential, transforming the empire into a multicultural civilization. Meanwhile, new powers rose across the Islamic world, including the Fatimid Caliphate in Egypt and the Seljuk Turks in the east. The Seljuks, a powerful Turkic dynasty, took control of Baghdad in 1055. They adopted the title of Sultan and ruled vast territories while keeping the Abbasid Caliph as a symbolic religious authority. Their victory over the Byzantine Empire at the Battle of Manzikert in 1071 opened Anatolia to Turkic settlement, laying the foundation for what would eventually become modern Turkey. But soon after, another dramatic challenge emerged: the Crusades. Beginning in 1095, European Christian armies launched campaigns to capture holy lands from Muslim control. Crusaders seized Jerusalem and established states along the eastern Mediterranean. For nearly 2 centuries, Muslim and Crusader powers fought for control of the region. In the 12th century, a remarkable leader named Saladin rose to power. A Sunni Kurdish commander, he united Muslim territories and defeated the Crusaders at the Battle of Hattin in 1187, reclaiming Jerusalem. But an even greater storm was approaching from the east. In the 13th century, the Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan expanded across Eurasia with terrifying speed. After a diplomatic incident with the Khwarezmian Empire, the Mongols launched devastating invasions across the Islamic world. In 1258, the Mongol ruler Hulagu Khan captured Baghdad and destroyed the city. The once glorious center of Islamic civilization was devastated, marking the end of the Abbasid Golden Age. However, the Mongols were eventually halted in 1260 at the Battle of Ain Jalut by the Mamluks of Egypt, a powerful military elite of former slave soldiers. The Mamluks became celebrated defenders of the Islamic world, defeating both Mongols and Crusaders. By the late Middle Ages, a new power was rising in Anatolia. Around 1300, a leader named Osman founded a small Turkish state that gradually expanded into the Ottoman Empire. In 1453, the Ottomans captured Constantinople, ending the 1,000-year-old Byzantine Empire and transforming the city, later called Istanbul, into their capital. In 1517, Ottoman Sultan Selim IV conquered Egypt, ended the Mamluk rule, and declared himself caliph, becoming the political leader of Sunni Islam. The Ottoman Empire would dominate the Middle East, North Africa, and southeastern Europe for centuries. Alongside it rose 2 other major Islamic powers, the Safavid Empire in Iran and the Mughal Empire in India. Together, these states became known as the Gunpowder Empires. The Ottoman Empire, the final great caliphate in Islamic history, would endure for nearly 600 years before finally collapsing in the aftermath of the First World War. This has been the story of a civilization that changed the world forever.